because I feel as though it benefits all those around me, because it definitely benefited me. Rock School can help those from beginners to intermediate players all the way through advanced. And Rock School doesn't only help those who just aim at guitar, there's also Rock School vocal books, drums, piano, and even ukulele. So hopefully today I can help persuade you to take on board the Rock School series, because I feel like it's very beneficial. This first song we're playing for you is called Meet Darcy Out. It features a lot of 16-note triplets, and it helps develop around the progressive metal section, and it's really helped me develop in this genre, so I hope you guys enjoy.
2, 1, 2, 3.
I suppose, it's called Mind the Gaps because there's a lot of odd countings. So the Rock School series aims at proving the technical skills of those, and a song like Mind the Gaps, you don't actually realise, but you actually are working on your odd timing. So yeah, it's just a good point to point out. So please enjoy.
Mind the gaps. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you. My next song will be a lead sheet, and it's a rock song that comes from the ideas of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, so it goes to show that the rock school offers a variety of genres, so I hope you enjoy this next one. Thanks.
Lead sheet. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you. That was the lead sheet. One of those songs that for intermediate players takes you out of your comfort zone, introducing new things such as two-handed tapping. So the next song will be Soma. This one's a little bit less quiet now, so relax your ears for this one. Sit back and enjoy, and I hope you like it.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Thank you. This last song's called Chaos Pad. This song kicks up again a little bit. It it focuses on using the A minor scale, and it uses the open A string as a tonal note to work for the scale. So please enjoy.
Chaos Pad. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Russ. That includes my set piece, so if anyone has any questions about rock school or is interested in taking the path of looking into the books of rock school, which I highly recommend, come talk to me after we're done here. Thank you all for coming out. It's been great.
Dino, well done, mate. That was good. You look like you were having some fun being representative of rock school up there, and congratulations for that. I had this distinct feeling though during your performance from watching the different styles that you approached that I'm just going to say this straight to you because I think it's worth saying this to you, is that I feel like what you have an affinity with is more the feel-based stuff, the blues kind of element. You've got a really lovely touch when you got into that feeling. I could see it in your body and in your face and in how you played the guitar. And the other really flat-out guitar stuff, I didn't feel like you embodied that as well. Even though you're a proficient guitarist, and maybe if you put a whole lot more time and many more years in it, you could do all that sort of stuff. But it was just really interesting. I just saw the emotion, and I thought, wow, this guy's really happy playing that kind of stuff, So maybe you could explore that a little bit more. Have a listen to some guys like Joe Bonamassa. There's a guy in Sydney that you should definitely look into called Simon Kinney Lewis. He's amazing. But Jeff Atchison, Lloyd Spiegel, guys like that who are absolute guitar heroes in America and Australia, they play this brand of guitar playing which is just as complex and amazing as anything else, but it's more feel-based. It's more based on the emotional thing, and I think that's where your thing could be. You just... maybe have a little bit more work around your timing too. Your timing was a little bit off today with those backing tracks, and that really kind of threw out the whole feeling of cohesion with the music, and made it a little bit confusing what was going on a few times there. I'm sure you know that, and you're probably really critical of your own performance. But yeah, so we picked up on that too. Now I'll hand over to Ed.
Yeah, and just adding to thanks, Tim. Just adding to that. It is a technical thing playing to a backing track, and I know it's not easy because different backing tracks, different songs, you might have got one off YouTube, you might have got one off a CD, you might have got one off another site or whatever. They've all got different compression, they've all got different, and that affects, when you play it live through the PA, that affects your sound, and it's like adding a whole bunch of different variables on top of playing music. At the end of the day, that's what we're doing, we're playing music. So just try and maybe think about with the backing tracks. I know maybe you're in a band and maybe you've got a band on the side or something. It's a completely different ball game, I know that. In a lot of ways it's a lot easier when you've got a band, even though you got to tell them what to do. Buy them drinks and all that sort of stuff. Oh, actually no, cordial, red, raspberry. Forget I just said any of that. Anyway, so look, your tone across, I started to lose your tone in the really intricate bits. It was a little bit too saturated. So those really fast runs can be really hard to hear. They become a little bit muddy if your tone is a bit too oversaturated. I know it's a really hard thing because you want the tone, but you also need to get the notes clear. And that's a skill I'm sure you'd be able to rise to. Again, it's a technical thing that's worth getting on top of. I think you played all the right parts in all the right places, but I would suggest to try to make them more musical in general, and that kind of leads into what Tim was saying about the feel thing. It is worthwhile, when we say the blues or the electric blues, it's 2017, there's a lot of crossover with different styles of music these days. Anything goes, seriously. You could be playing that kind of style of guitar over some kind of like trip hop beats or whatever. I mean, it's really just up to your own imagination, and you should feel free to play with that. If you're not settled on the progressive rock sort of stuff, there's a whole world out there of other musicians, guitarists, genres of music that you might like. Maybe, the feel sort of bass stuff is maybe where you seem to be strongest at. Yeah, I was just going to say it's hard. You fell out of time with the backing track a bit. That's okay. It happens. It's hard. It really is a technical mix thing to get the mix right of those backing tracks, but it's extra hard when the backing tracks are different levels on their own. So there's a lot of little apps and programs you can do to sort all that sort of stuff out. Like if you've got iTunes, you'll notice that there's a little thing called Soundcheck that's supposed to sort stuff like that out, for example. And just one last thing with your stage presence. I did like all the introductions and your explanation of the whole rock school thing. I just thought maybe you could be a bit more relaxed and sort of lose yourself in the music a bit more. Again, it's hard when you're trying to execute things technically the right way. But to me, I think that you'd really benefit from maybe choosing some different style music. You might feel that you're just more comfortable and it might flow a lot better, which helps the whole sort of performance. But good on you. Yeah, that's all I've got to say, I think. So, thanks.